Alright. So, am I in the neighborhood where a lot of these sightings go down? I think more of the question would be, the statement would be, when am I not, right? And yeah, probably about 98% of the time I set up the camera and go solo and read these emails. Basically where stuff's gone down the past, for sure. You never know, right? Maybe one day something's going to decide to scare the living shit out of me while I'm doing this, and catch it on film, and it'll be pretty humorous if I do, for some. Now, everybody has, not everybody, but a lot of people have opinion of what these things may be or may not be. And one thing for certain is these things aren't monkeys and apes. They're not an unrecognized species of animal, all right? And that is why it's so hard for everybody to wrap their frickin' melon around it. It's a very, very challenging, tough topic to wrap your head around. So you can imagine what the truth about these things is going to be like for your head to wrap around. It's probably going to be even worse than it is just to accept the fact that these things are real, right? So, do I have all the answers? No. Have I made up my mind exactly what these beings are? I've made up my mind what they aren't. Do I believe they are responsible for missing people? I think they're probably responsible for a small handful, but I don't think they're responsible for the majority of the missing people that have vanished under absolutely odd circumstances. I'm very convinced that these beings aren't fully responsible for that. Are they connected in some strange way? I think everything's connected in some strange way, don't you? Now, what I'm about to read is, I'm going to let you guys know, I get, for every email I read, for every email I receive, I'll bet you 50% of them are, not 50%, for every email, out of all the emails I receive from people, which is thousands, it's very, very common for me to receive an email, read it, and it goes straight into the Bible, explanations, the Nephilim explanations. Fallen angel story has been emailed to me from literally dozens and dozens of different unrelated, non-connected people. Okay, when I start reading those stories, I can almost forecast what's coming, what's going to be wrote into me, and I haven't jumped on anybody's bandwagon 100% yet, straight across the board. I'm still at the stage where I am taking in information from various very intelligent people. I'm at the stage where I am taking tidbits from every single email I read here that's emailed to me, and I'm taking from each experience what I possibly need for the next piece for my puzzle. Alright? And I hope all of you are doing the same thing. But what I'm going to read right now is very detailed. Alright? And this person delivers this with absolute conviction. I'm not going to be like other people who speak publicly on this topic and withhold experiences, information, or facts, stories, change them around, decide not to tell or not to share you guys something that's given to me to share with you because it doesn't fit somebody's narrative or because it just sounds too far out there to wrap your head around. But this topic is a bit much to wrap your head around for anyone, unless you have a first-hand experience with them. Then you will be bewildered and curious, and you will lose a lot of time and a lot of sleep trying to make sense of what it is you have experienced, what it is you saw, just like I do, and thousands of other people do at the same time, right? Now, listen to this. Take from it what you will, but this person took a lot of time to write this in and send it to me, and I will read it and I will share it with all you today. Here we go. Hello, Steve. This is a very thorough, detailed explanation of what Sasquatch is, where they originated from, their transformation, and who is responsible, and their current purpose. This was sent to me by someone else I had befriended. I'm not going to lie and sugarcoat that he is claiming that he is from an angelic civilization who claims to be immortal. If you were to read to what he was writing without knowing the background information I already did, I would say he is absolutely psychologically damaged. However, knowing what I do know, not only do I believe it, but there are other gentlemen that I have befriended who's in top secret organization is very concerned on how accurate this information is from this other individual who's claiming to be an angel. I hope that you're able to really understand what is being illustrated in these emails I'm going to be sharing with you. Here you go. Sasquatch, or Bigfoot as they are known today, are the Nephilim of the past and one of the 4 types of humans that exist today. Humans, Sasquatch, red-haired giants, and the Bajekifzanes. Bracket, small grays, bracket. Sasquatch were amongst the first humans abducted by the Zetas, extraterrestrials, and had changes made to the nuclear DNA for the purpose of hard slave labor. All Sasquatch originated from the area north of the Black Sea, about 400 miles north of Egypt. This original group were all Caucasian. Sasquatch do have names they call themselves and subtle appearance differences depending on what geographical location they are from, and this global. I'm going to explain in detail the group that occupies the western half of North America. This is the group with us now. This group call themselves the Almas people and have corresponding native language. All of them have a very good understanding of English. They do have a written language, basically symbolism for Almas at best. All Sasquatch around the world understand the local human language because they are exposed to it through the Zetas. Zetas, however you want to pronounce it, and above ground activity. All Sasquatch were enslaved by the Zeta civilization. From 13,000 years ago to about 6,000 years ago, they lived above and below ground. They could not cloak, did not have telepathy, did not have body hair. They were just very tall, robust humans and were called Nephilim by the people of the time. Around 6,000 years ago, the Zetas made more nuclear DNA changes to them. Zetas lived in underground cities and moved the Sasquatch primarily underground with them due to the expanding human population around 6,000 years ago. It was at this time the Zetas chose to conceal their existence to the rest of humanity. History was rewritten by the Zetas and the people under Zeta control. This is why the Bible and other religious literature reflect that the earth was created by God some 6,000 years ago. God is a Zeta word for the one that enslaves you. Question: why do you think you must pray to God for forgiveness, and why did the Son of God die for your sins? Why must you accept God into your life or face damnation? This list of rules is long. All major religions are written under the control of Zeta civilization. It used to be gods for many slave masters. Then it was changed to one god to represent the whole of the Zeta civilization. It is also written that God created man starting with Adam and Eve. This is a Zeta proclamation of ownership over man. Zetas directly control people and do follow bloodlines. They use these people to control the rest of the human population. The center of this control has always been religion. Satan is another Zeta word for their leader. The Bible talks of fallen angels for the purpose of vilifying what is good. Zetas have had encounters with angels for their behavior in their past. Angels are very real. They are higher dimensional, very old souls and members of their civilization. Angels are basically the grandparents of the countless civilizations that exist in all dimensions that exist. Angels do not go bad. A civilization cannot ascend until you are love first. That love gets stronger. Angels are the caretakers of everything that exists inside the source, the entity you exist in. I could go on and on with this. Are you beginning to understand this? As for the Sasquatch of today, they have gone through many genetic manipulations over time, and there are several races. Sasquatch are as human as you and I. They have families like everyone else and share the same moral values as the rest of humanity. Today there are more than 9 million of them globally, and this includes the red-haired giants. Sasquatch are humans, to be specific, human hybrids. Their genetic makeup from my location of responsibility today is 100% human female. Their genetic makeup for my location responsibility today is 100% human female mitochondrial DNA. Your mitochondrial DNA is who you are, period. They have 87% nuclear DNA, about 11 to 12% Neanderthal and Denisovian nuclear DNA, and 1 to 2% gibbon, monkey, and zeta nuclear DNA. Nuclear DNA determines your appearance. One way to understand this is every human on Earth looks different except for identical twins. There are nuclear DNA genetic variants across the globe, but all have 100% human female mitochondrial DNA, and their spirits are human. Sasquatch appearance. Humans are the only mammals on Earth that have rigid feet. This is a trait and a purpose of humanity's true parents, the seventh dimensional Pleiadian civilization. The Pleiadians started seeding this world with their DNA 325,000 years ago. They were forced to leave when the Zetas arrived for many reasons. Sasquatch had that joint in their feet reintroduced for the purpose of moving on all fours again, and for moving around without the need of protective footwear. Their legs were short and their arms were lengthened and their torso was increased. Why for the purpose of moving around on all fours as naturally as walking upright. Works great for moving around in the underground where they have been mainly kept. Their musculature was increased for hard slave labor. Their size is intentional for the purpose of hard labor. There is the pituitary gland in your brain that secretes growth hormone. You grow to a certain height in your life. Their pituitary gland never stops. Sasquatch never stopped growing through life. Heights can be achieved to upwards of 30 feet. This varies per person. The average height for males is 10 to 12 feet. The pituitary gland failure can make some grow to incredible heights and all heights in between. The body hair is nothing more than a genetic switch. All humans in the past have had body hair. The Pleiadians turned that genetic switch off. The Zetas just turned it back on. Now the Zetas have slaves, they don't have a shoe. Now the Zetas have slaves, they don't have to shoe and don't have to clothe. The last nuclear DNA genetic manipulation is the ability to lower their vibrational frequency on a molecular level, which hides the mass of their bodies, allows them to appear invisible, and gave them telepathy. It is not a dimensional ability, it is a predatory ability the Zetas evolved. There are insects in this world that have evolved this ability as well. Zetas were originally a spider-like insect that another sentient civilization mixed their genetics for this ability. The ability to cloak also gives them the ability to move through mass like Zetas do. This is why no one finds entrances. This is why no one finds entrances to Zeta underground bases and tunnels. Sasquatch have been tunneling and building the underground from the beginning, and the underground around the world is extensive and interconnected. The above-ground structures includes most of the world's pyramids and monolithic structures using Zeta technology. All these changes are for the purpose of hard slave labor underground and to hide these enslaved people from the rest of humanity. All 9+ million Sasquatch are as human as you are. Every human has a different appearance. They are beautiful people with families and a sense of community, with all the moral values you hold so dear. All are above ground and have been for 4.5 years. All were told to get above ground because the underground was going to be collapsed and the Zetas removed permanently. The Pleiadians are the ones causing all the earthquakes forming around the world. It is being done using targeted high-frequency bursts from space. They are interdimensional. Thousands of Pleiadian crafts are in the solar system along with higher dimensional crafts and incarnates. This hidden war against the invisible enemy was planned before everyone living today was born. Everyone will meet the Pleiadians very soon as well. They have been getting more freedom to unlock. They have been getting more freedom to uncloak, but stay concealed from the rest of humanity until all the Zetas are removed. When the time is right, the rest of humanity will be introduced to them. This is why there has been an explosion of Bigfoot researchers over the last 4.5 years, precisely, and UFO sightings as well. I will stop here. This is as simple as I can put it for now. All of humanity was enslaved 13,000 years ago. Other Zeta genetic manipulations besides Sasquatch include, number 1, red-haired giants are the original Nephilim without the ability to cloak. no telepathic ability, no body hair, and still have rigid feet. Number 2, the Bajekov-Zeons. The Bajekov-Zeons are the small gray aliens people refer to in abduction scenarios. Are the small gray aliens people refer to in abduction scenarios. They are 100% humans and enslaved like the Sasquatch. Number 3, human hybrids are a mixture of human and Zeta mitochondrial DNA. They are not mentally stable and as dangerous as the Zetas. They get released in national parks, etc., for the sole purpose of killing people. Pretty much all national parks are locations of underground Zeta bases. Number 4, Dogman is real and also gets released in national parks, etc., for the same reason as the human hybrids. Their mitochondrial DNA is wolf, and they behave the same. Dogman is for the most part harmless and avoid humans. Zetas are genetic farmers, and many manipulations have existed. There are others, but typically harmless. So there you have it, Steve. This is where Sasquatch comes from. This is why people have seen them disappear and reappear out of thin air. This is why their arms are longer than their legs, why they have no body hair, why they have body hair, and why they're absolutely monstrous strong. And why they're absolutely monstrously strong. Call this information crazy, but if you think about what it's describing, it makes perfect sense. These alien underground civilizations are all inside our national forests and parks. This is why people are getting abducted around and on Mount Shasta, Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, and Mount St. Helens. Jonathan. There you go. So there you go. How's that for an email? And is it the first time I've had email of similar flavor emailed to me? No, it's not. I've had an email with that very similar story emailed to me from a few different people numerous times, I believe, in the past. Take from it what you will. Obviously, that's a big one to wrap your brain around. But I believe that in the end, basically, I think our entire reality is probably going to be a little too much for us to wrap our heads around. Do you think? But anyway, I gotta get my ass out of here. I gotta go home. And my head is about to explode.